Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrooter.com with your morning Hornesies. Your sip of chaga coffee. All right, let's see what's new in silver today. Silver is rigged. There you go. All right, that's it. Thank you for joining the Road Ruta. No, my job that I've given myself is to expose the rigging and to show everybody just how rigged it is, how controlled and manipulated our markets are. 100%. I go back to the origins of computer market rigging. Alan Greenspan inventing the first computer programs in the 60s and 70s to create our financial system, to create the market rigging mechanisms necessary to go off a gold standard in 1971. I've proven it 50 times since Sunday. Go to roadrooter.com if you really want to understand what's going on. And it's not just gold and silver. It is wheat. It is milk. It is oil, obviously. It's the US dollar, obviously. It's all bonds, all stocks, all mining stocks, all ETFs, all of them 100% rigged every day with computer programs run out of the New York Fed. Oh, I thought I had news on the New York Fed. Oh, I do. Number 2 guy at the New York Fed is out of here. Michael Strine to retire from the New York Fed. Federal Reserve Bank of New York today announced that Michael Strine, first Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, will retire from the New York Fed on February 28th. Get out of Dodge, my friend. Get out of Dodge. But if you're on the Road to Ruta, you understand that this is all being controlled and manipulated out of the Federal Reserve System, and they do plan on destroying the system. They are printing infinity money. It's not even behind the scenes anymore. I lost count of how much it is. It's well over 10 trillion, and it just keeps going. And they are bailing out banks every single day in every single way and not reporting that to the public. So there you go. But back to silver. Silver price, again, $26 is the 50-day moving average. That's the thing they're trying to protect. After that, who's going to sell? All the tech traders are going to be chasing after, it breaks through moving averages. There's no one left to sell. There's nobody. 8 big banks, 8 of them, not JP Morgan, they got out of their short position. After their settlement number 86, I think, from JP Morgan of major financial crimes, they don't go to jail. Sorry. You want jail? You got to go to another dictatorship country, socialist country. That's what we live in, a socialist country where they control all markets, all prices. It is insane. We're going to see what happens to price controls very soon, because silver is going to blow sky high, ridiculously sky high. 150 years of price suppression does not stop in a nice slow easing out, and all of a sudden it's trading freely. No, my friends, that does not happen. Let's talk a little about the people who got thrown in jail. There's 6 traders, I think, that are up on RICO charges. A couple of them have turned state's evidence and admitted it. There is, I think, 8 class action lawsuits that have just been solidified into one against JP Morgan. I don't know how they'll get out of that. So, yeah. And JP Morgan's sitting there with the spoils of their crime. 700 million ounces of physical silver. Remember, the Hunt brothers only had 100 million. Warren Buffett had about 130 million. I think Warren Buffett is buying behind the scenes right now. That'll come out. And yeah, that's the world we live in our manipulated, socialistic, controlled insanity called our global financial system. But it's all controlled out of the Fed computer programs, out of the New York Fed, out of the U.S. Treasury, and out of the bullion banks that are apparently being told to stand down. Really interesting news for those who believe in interesting news. Wall Street set for oil trading caps that could have been worse. By the way, also gold and silver caps that could have been worse. CFTC to impose position limits. Oh my God, the ever evil word, position limits. And you read this, you go, oh yeah, position limits. And then there's all kinds of caveats. But hey, it's better than nothing, right? And oh, surprise, surprise, it's happening right after JP Morgan was told to stand down. And Deutsche Bank. And who else? Citibank. These are, remember in the indictment of the JP Morgan traders, there was Bank A, which was JP Morgan, and there's Bank B, C, D. Those are the banks. Deutsche Bank, Citibank, and Bank of Nova Scotia, I think was the third. Of course, there's 8 more who are currently short and are in deep, dire trouble right now. Ted estimates they're sitting on losses of $12 billion between 8 banks. That's a lot of losses. So are they going to short as the silver price breaks over the 50-day moving average? I don't think they will. Now, I have been saying watch out for the high-frequency traders. Obviously, we see a lot of that shit going on right now with massive volumes. Volumes still up near 500 million ounces per day, but nobody is trading hands. The position limits at the end of the day are exactly the same. So why even have this volume, right? Anyway, back to this article. Traders are about to be hit with new U.S. rules they've long resisted. The first ever federal restrictions on how much hedge funds and other firms can speculate on key commodities such as oil and metals. Now, Bloomberg is biased. They know the manipulation happens. They don't want to call out any of the banks. But it is the major U.S. and international banks that are the 8 gigantic short positions on the COMEX. That can be seen in the bank participation report put out by the CFTC once a month, I think it is. Anyway, yet there's a silver lining. Oh, look at that. They stuck that in having the regulation finished while appointees of President Donald Trump are running the government agencies. The measures are softer than what would be put forth when Barack Obama was president. Don't give me a freaking break. Both of them are riggers. Trump's just better at it. It's just, I don't even want it. It's just stupid. Anyway, CFTC will approve what are known as position limits at the Thursday meeting. Major aspects are a little changed from what the CFTC proposed in January. Agency officials said during a Wednesday call with reporters. However, they said some adjustments were made to make it easier for businesses, aka JP Morgan, to use futures to hedge against commodity price fluctuations. Those adjustments are, if you have the physical silver and can prove it, you can do anything you want. That's why all these banks took physical silver delivery in September and they put it into the SLV so they can tell the CFTC, look, we got physical. That's why we have so many short positions. Quote, our position limit rule has been a decade in the making, Tarbert said during the call. That's just what happened during that decade. JP Morgan and others were rigging the price day in, day out, like I was screaming about. Everybody was screaming about. He added that the new regulations would provide clarity for businesses and are meant to limit excessive speculation. Then why is there 500 million ounces of trading every day? Why are no mining companies hedging? Who the hell needs 500 million ounces traded a day? That's all speculation. That's what you call excessive speculation, you freaking idiots. The rules will impose caps on the number of futures that traders can amass for more than a dozen highly traded contracts. Gold and silver are in there, by the way. Still, in many cases, the new limits are likely to be looser than the ones exchanges already have in place. Exchanges don't have any in place. JP Morgan has proven they've changed that. They've gone over that many times. And oh, by the way, did you guys know that the COMEX is a self-regulating regulatory organization, an SRO? Means they're their own cop. Why aren't they in jail? Why didn't the COMEX, the CME group, ICE, all the same thing, all the same entities, why didn't they get slapped on the wrist as well? Because they were the number one line of defense for 10 years. Ted Butler sent them every single article. This guy, Craig Donahue, which I'll get to in a second, who was the head. All right. At issue is a vexing and politically fraught question that has confounded derivatives regulators for a decade. How much speculation should be permitted in futures energy companies, manufacturers, and other businesses to use to hedge against price changes of raw materials? Again, in the metals, in gold and silver, no mining companies are hedging. None. Let that sink in. None. So why is there 500 million ounces of electronic futures and options trading every day? Allowing substantial bets by hedge funds that other traders meaning the banks, can bring needed liquidity to the contracts. We don't need liquidity. Liquidity has never been an issue. I don't know why people say, oh, you have to have liquidity. There's a difference between real liquidity and fake liquidity. High-frequency traders is fake liquidity. You want real liquidity? Bring more physical silver into the market. Need more liquidity. What a joke. 99.9% of all trades are just fake. Fake. There's your liquidity. But too much speculation can cause spikes in volatility. CFTC officials have also said the rules are intended to crack down on manipulative strategies, such as instances of firms cornering the market or so-called squeezes, in which a trader buys an abundance of contracts to try to burn those betting on price declines. That's exactly the opposite of what the squeeze. I mean, you can have a squeeze up, but why is Bloomberg saying two of the exact same things? Cornering a market or so-called squeezes. No, what they're saying is and so-called squeeze. They're just talking about the upside. What they're not talking about is that massive, massive short position to suppress the price. That's a squeeze in a different direction. During the Obama era, a Democratic-led CFTC tried several times to strike a balance, failing to finalize multiple plans and once having a rule blocked by a federal judge after two trade groups representing financial companies sued the regulator. Compared to those earlier efforts, the agency's new rules are more differential to Wall Street and businesses that widely use commodities. Of course, they're right into the pocket, back into the pocket of the banksters. Their approval will mark a major policy achievement for Tarbert, who has made it a priority to finish regulation since he took over in July of 2019. The agency's January proposal focuses on 25 reference futures, including 16 ones in energy, metals, and agriculture products. Under the final rules, traders in newly included energies and metal futures would only face limits on the soonest expiring contracts. Those are the delivering contracts. Remember, we were talking about September. I went round and around with this guy online saying, no, they're screwing with the data. I said, no, you can go in and buy physical silver that day on the COMEX in a delivery month and have it delivered right away. So, voila, that is now capped. You can no longer do that. Great. This is the exact opposite. Under the final rules, traders in the newly included energies and metal futures would only face limits on the soonest expiring contracts, which are known as spot months. The CFTC had proposed tying those restrictions to calculations based on 25% of the estimated physical delivery supply for various commodities. So they're trying to stop. They're going to look at the COMEX inventories, the registered category, and say, okay, only 25% of that can be held for those people looking to take delivery. Really? You think you're going to win that way? It ain't going to happen. Speaking Wednesday during the webinar hosted by Commodities Market Council, Tarbert said the rules would use 25% of delivery supply as the rule of thumb for limits on position in the spot month. That means there's not a law. It's a rule of, oh, you're kidding me. These people are pathetic. However, Tarbert said the agency had worked with exchanges to settle on thresholds for most agricultural contracts that were well below that level. In the call with reporters, CFTC said the rules would allow natural gas futures position on different exchanges to be compounded, blah, blah, blah. Non-financial firms will be eligible for expanded list exemptions from the trading limits if they are using derivatives to hedge legitimate business risk. Just like I told you, it's classic. This is classic. This is how BlackRock's going to end up with gigantic short positions because they own SLV and they're going to short the shit out of it. Non-financial firms, basically, BlackRock will be eligible for an expanded list of exemptions from the trading limits if they are using derivatives to hedge legitimate business risk, like hedging SLV. The rules will also set up a process for futures exchanges to approve additional exemptions. Without prior CFTC sign-off, then why even have a frickin' rule? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's not position limits. It's not a law. It is a rule of thumb. It is pathetic, but it's better than nothing, right? We move forward, always forward. What is a self-regulatory organization? Basically, it is a fox guarding the hen house. It is the banksters regulating themselves. This self-regulating organization called the COMEX for 10 years allowed the thievery and price suppression of silver for 10 years. What did they? JP Morgan had to pay, what, $920 million? What did the COMEX have to pay? Who went to jail at the COMEX? Who should have gone to jail at the COMEX? I'll show you who should have gone to jail with the COMEX. This dude, Craig Donahue, was the head of the COMEX for years during when all this manipulation kept coming on like, oh no, there's no manipulation. Bullshit, Mr. Donahue, you're a criminal. And where do criminals go? They go to the OCC. Oh, the DTCC, whichever one you choose. Mr. Donahue is a criminal. Here he is. In 2009, here's a little blast from the past. I don't even know what's in this interview. It's 3 minutes. I'll stop it along the way and place my comics. This interview took place right after the financial crash of 2008. And here is Mr. Donahue saying, oh yeah, everything's fixed now. It was bad before, but it's fixed now. Remember, during the entire time he's opening his mouth, JP Morgan and friends are rigging the silver market, and we are screaming about it in 2009. Listen to this.
Today, there was a joint hearing of the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. Regulation and how to make sense of it is the topic of the day. Craig Donahue, he's head of the CME Group, testified earlier this morning. Bloomberg's Lindsay Arendt is right now just outside the CFTC and has him in a Bloomberg exclusive joining us now live. Lindsay?
Thanks, Margaret. I am here with Craig Donahue, who's the CEO of CME Group, as you mentioned. Craig, thanks.
So, just before we start this, I think there should be a lineup of old criminals. You know, I don't care about passing a certain amount of time. There's not a criminal anymore. If they were a criminal back then, they should be tried for it. Blythe Masters, Jamie Dimon, you name it. You can go down the list of riggers in silver. There's just so many. And it's part of the gang. It's a big gang. Big club, and you're not in it.
Thanks for joining us. Let's start off with your thoughts on this push for greater regulation of over-the-counter derivatives markets. Certainly,
Now remember, this is 10 years ago. This is when, there's a big push for position limits, right? Remember the Dodd-Frank bill was going to save the world? Bullshit.
Your company would be a beneficiary of this new push for regulation, wouldn't it?
Well, I think one of the things we learned in the economic crisis is that there's tremendous demand for central counterparty clearing services. We provide the guarantee of performance of every obligation on our exchange. That system works well, and I think it increases investor confidence. And so what you see now is a push in Washington to see if that can work well and serve the interests of the over-the-counter derivatives market. We're a market leader in that respect, so we think there's substantial opportunity for us.
Oh, there's substantial opportunity for you, all right. They can rig the market for another freaking 10 years. This dude belongs in jail. Anyway, he goes on. I'm done with him. I'm done with a lot of these guys. But he's at the OCC now, which is the government comptroller of currency. Oh, my Lord. Well, what do you do? I don't know what you do. You just keep fighting the fight. We gotta fight the fight. All you silver lovers out there, fight the fight. Do everything you can do. And if you're a crypto person, start your new system right next to the old system. Screw these guys. They're never going to change. It's time to start a new system right next to the old system. Anyway, you want to join the Road to Ruta? I'm giving away 25 Theta, 25 Theta fuel while they last. I will not be giving these away much longer. I think we are on the brink of a huge run-up in Theta and maybe even bigger in Theta fuel. Not sure yet, but big moves up coming. I expect Theta to be well over $1 by the end of the year, maybe even, shall we say, $5. If the cryptos get their run, Theta is going to run the highest because it is the least valued, the least appreciated, the least known crypto in the top 30. Keep an eye on it. Anyway, I am going to leave you today with a little ditty from the Bitcoin Ben meetup. I'm going to sing a little song for you that I just posted. But when I post music, it really doesn't get any views. So I have to tack them on to the end of my rants about silver and cryptos. Anyway, this song is called The Way of the Crypto Warriors and was recorded at the Bitcoin Ben meetup, the Unmasked Tour, on Saturday the 5th in Orange, California. Here we go. Hope you enjoy it. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you for coming out, bro. Thank you so much. All right, now, Bix, I got one request, my friend.
Oh, no. A fast, fun one, I hope.
No.
He's so deep.
Crypto Warrior.
Where you start with Bitcoin, you know nothing. You make your first wallet, then you think you got something. Secure your private keys. If you don't, all your coins will be gone. Now you're a coiner and it's time to learn all. Banking tech, the social net, the cryptos are hard. You gotta get your feet wet, gotta get your mind set for change. And it's the way of the crypto warriors. We're changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors. We can't rely on the bankers, no way. The way of the crypto warriors. After all the crazy politics fade away, if you got something to say, live a crypto warrior way. There's Kenny Bozak, he'll show up in your town. No fiat in his pocket, always dressed like a clown. But he pulls out his phone, always pays for what he owes in crypto. Big old John Kim erases all Charlie's doom. Satoshi Light is feeling right with John and Jarums, and he takes care of Litecoin. We know it's the right coin for change. And it's the way of the crypto warriors. We're changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors. We can't rely on the bankers, no way. The way of the crypto warriors. After all the crazy politics fade away, if you got something to say, live a crypto warrior way. Let me tell you about my friend. His name is Bitcoin Ben, a truck driving man. Everybody loves him, and he's spreading the word. He shares what he heard. Secret plan. Snippy by Joe, can't miss the J-Snip show. From Psychic Fest to Treasure Chest, till Joe's on the know. And he teaches us tech, cause he's seen a few wrecks, so go slow. The way of the crypto warriors. We're changing the world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors. We can't rely on the bankers, no way. The way of the crypto warriors. After all the crazy politics fade away, if you got something to say, well, live a crypto warrior way. Everybody wants to be a hero, and everybody's got dreams of a better day. But if everybody knew that we could change everything that we do, then everybody live a crypto warrior way. And everybody could live a crypto warrior way. And then you can live a crypto warrior way.
Woo! Love you, Bix. I love that song. I love, not just because I'm in it. It is the energy, the frequency, the positivity, the change the world mentality that song represents is the reason that the people are taking. Jesus, I can't stop crying. I need more beer. The reason we are going to change the world one block at a time.